Hi, it's John here from sunny New Zealand. I've just finished a course by David Vignola called Mixing with Analog Plugins Made Easy, and I just wanted to make a video to say thanks to David for making such an awesome course and maybe to share a few things about it. You may, if you're anything like me, wonder if there's a bit of hype about all of this analog stuff and about whether it actually does something or whether it is just hype. And it's a question that perhaps before I did this course I might have gone either way on. But having done the course, I can say it makes a real difference. It improves the mixes, it improves the bottom end. So just to tell you a little bit about me, I've been involved with music my whole life. I probably spent the last 7 or 8 years in music doing mainly live work, and I've recorded hundreds of songs, backing tracks for hundreds of songs, which I use to perform live. And more recently, I've decided to record some of my original material and actually do finished mixes. So I wanted to learn how to put a bit of extra polish on those. And so I've been watching David's YouTube channel for a long time and been a real fan of his. And when he brought out the Mixing with Analog Plugins course, it's like, okay, that's something that will help me. And it really has, and not just in the analog side, but in teaching me mixing in general, some workflow things. But he goes through analog plugins, different plugins that you may or may not have, and it doesn't really matter because he shows you how to use them whether you own them or not, or whether you own a different plugin that can achieve the same thing. And he does compressors, vintage EQs, console sounds. Something that surprised me was when he said, well, let's put some vintage reverbs on there, which I'd never thought of, but makes sense because in an analog studio, every little thing adds to the sound. And I think that's probably one of the main things I learned doing the course, was that it's very subtle. It's a lot of subtle things, just like in a real analog studio where you're going through so much equipment. It's a lot of subtle things that add up to a big improvement in the overall mix. It's not like where you have a track and you just put a reverb on or a compressor and there's an instant change. It's subtle and it's across the whole mix. And I've been really pleased with how it's made my drum sounds and fattened up the textures of electric guitars in the bottom end, and it's just a really worthwhile change to try and just add that flavour to your mix. So I really recommend the course. It's about 12 hours of course time, but it took me about 3 weeks because I went through every little thing with David so that I learned his workflow properly. I can't recommend the course highly enough. Do the course. You'll learn a whole lot more stuff about analog plugins, about workflow, and you'll be able to come up with much better mixes that you can be proud of. So thank you very much, David, and we may talk again soon. Thank you.